The Rehearse Timings feature records the amount of time you spend on each slide, and you can save those times to run the show automatically in the future. In other words, if you have a set amount of time to give your presentation, you can go through a practice run and use the Rehearse Timings feature to record the amount of time you would spend on each slide, which adds up, of course, to the overall timing for the entire presentation. So if I need to give these 6 slides in under 30 seconds, well, let's come up here, click on the slideshow and do a practice run. Go to the setup group. There's Rehearse Timings. You can see in the pop-up, practice makes perfect. Start the full screen slideshow to figure out the perfect timing for each slide. So when I click on it, it's going to open up, and in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to see 2 timers. The first one is going to be the total amount of time that I'm spending on the current slide during the presentation. The second timer is the cumulative amount. Like if I'm on slide 3 and I spent 10 seconds here, 5 seconds there, the total for the second timer would be 15 seconds. So that way for the overall, I can see, 15 seconds halfway through. I got just about 15 seconds left to go, so I can keep this at 30 seconds or under. Let me show you. Come up here, click on Rehearse Timings, upper left-hand corner. That's the total amount of time for this slide. That's overall. Click to advance. Starts back to 0, but it keeps track of what I spent so far, including the first slide. Click to advance, and you can also click on that little arrow there to click next. And then when you're going through this and you're like, okay, I'm going to spend about 5 seconds here talking about, oh, wait a second, maybe I should spend 4. You can come up here and click on repeat, and it zeroes it off, so you're starting over, and it goes back and just includes the time from the first slide up until the last slide, not this slide. So I can go ahead and resume and say, okay, I want to spend, this is where we were, this is what we've done, this is where we're going. Okay, let's go ahead and go next. Then we can go ahead and pause this and say, let me think about this. 2 seconds is good, but I think I need a little bit more time. Go ahead and click on resume. And then click to advance, click to advance. Total amount of time is 26 seconds, and I could see it up there, the second timer, so I'm under 30. Great. Do you want to save it? If I say yes, then to view this, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either with the slide selected, or any slide for that matter, come up here, click on the Transitions tab, go to the timing group, and there you go, almost 5 seconds for that slide. What about slide 2? 5.5 roughly. Or I like going down to the bottom on the status bar, clicking on the slide sorter button, and being able to see all my slides pretty much in one view. If you've got a lot more here, what you can do is use the slider, click and drag to zoom out to see more of your slides, or you can hold down the control key, and if you have a rolly button on your mouse, roll out, roll in. Well, in any case, there we go. So I have a total of 5 seconds on this slide, 6, 3, and if I'm like, okay, how about 1? I need to talk about myself a little bit more. So with it selected, well, I can double click on it and it goes to the normal view. And I can come up here on the Transitions tab where I last left, and let's do 2 seconds. Then come back down here, go to the slide sorter, 2 seconds, great. Now, if at one point you're giving this to an audience where you don't want to have it timed for you, or you want to keep the timings but you don't want it to automatically go through it, instead of coming up here and going to 0 on all of them, let's come up here, click on the Slideshow tab, go to the Setup group, and just uncheck Use Timings. It doesn't clear out the timings, but it just means during the presentation, don't use them and automatically advance after 5 seconds onto the next slide. So that way, when you're giving the presentation again, and you want to stick to the times, then come up here on the Slideshow tab and say, yes, use timings. Now that doesn't mean that when you're giving the presentation, you got 5 seconds if you finish early, at 4 seconds that you couldn't click to advance because the click will override the timings. So you can click, well, as quick as you can under 5 seconds or under 6, but if you go up to 6 seconds and you didn't click, it'll automatically advance to the next slide. Of course, we learned about that in an earlier training video in that when we came up here and we did Setup Slideshow, click on it, Use Timings, it's checked Use Timings. If you did manually, clicked Okie dokie, it would uncheck it, and then vice versa. If you come back and you say, okay, let's use timings here, and I click OK, it'll check it there. There we go, it's checked. Now, if the timings don't work for you, of course, you can go back and rehearse timings again and start from scratch. And there we go, 1, 2, 3, advance to the next, hit the escape key, and let's say we're done. We finished early. The total time for your slideshow is 5, but If I save it and say yes, notice, well, there's the total 4-second, 1 second. It didn't erase all the others. It kept them because I didn't advance to that point where it could go ahead and overwrite it when I did another rehearsal. So you can do partial rehearsals there. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.